Hi, I'm Philip,
And I'm Megan.
and we're going to talk about organelles inside a eukaryotic cell. The nucleus is an organelle that contains most of the genes in eukaryotic cells. It is enclosed by a nuclear envelope which has a double membrane and pores that regulate which RNA and macromolecules come in and out of it. Its shape is maintained by the nuclear lamina, which lines the inner surface using structural proteins.
The rough endoplasmic reticulum is an extensive network of membrane. It contains ribosomes and its main function is protein synthesis. It's capable of creating its own membrane. The RER produces proteins which are then put into transport vesicles. The transport vesicles keep these proteins separate from other proteins that are made in the nucleus. These are then sent to the Golgi to go perform other tasks.
The smooth endoplasmic reticulum is an extensive network of membrane that lacks ribosomes. Its main function is to perform different metabolic processes such as lipid synthesis and detoxification of drugs and alcohol. Oils, phospholipids, and steroids are some of the types of lipids produced in the smooth ER. Calcium ions are also stored within this organelle.
The Golgi apparatus is made up of flattened membranous sacs called cisternae. It receives transport vesicles from the ER. There's two sides to each stack of membranes, a cis face, which receives the transport vesicles, and the trans face that ships vesicles to a new location. The Golgi also produces macromolecules like proteins and non-cellulose polysaccharides. The Golgi actually progresses its membrane forward from cis to trans and modifies cargo as it moves.
Vesicles are cellular organelles that are composed of a lipid bilayer and are used to transport materials from one place to another. They are also used in metabolism functions and enzyme storage. There are four types of vesicles: vacuoles, which regulate water levels; lysosomes contain digestive enzymes; transport vesicles move molecules; and secretory vesicles, which store proteins.
Ribosomes are the protein factories of the cell. They are made up of rRNA and proteins that carry out protein synthesis. They can be free and suspended in cytosol or bound, which is attached to the outside of the rough endoplasmic reticulum or nuclear envelope. When a protein is made from free ribosomes, they usually stay within the cell and perform functions within the cytosol. If the ribosome is bound, the proteins are usually destined to be used outside of the cell or inserted into membranes.
The mitochondria is an organelle enclosed by a double membrane, each composed of a phospholipid bilayer and embedded proteins. The outer membrane is smooth while the inner is folded. This inner compartment, called the mitochondrial matrix, has enzymes, DNA, and ribosomes that help with the organelle's main function of chemical energy conversion. The enzymes assist in catalyzing steps in cellular respiration and other proteins, which help make ATP.
Chloroplast contains chlorophyll, which is a green pigment. Its function is photosynthetic production of sugar, which is then transformed into energy by the mitochondria. It receives this energy from the sun. It has three compartments: the intermembrane space, the stroma, and the thylakoid space. These are separated by cytosol and two membranes. Inside of the chloroplast, there is thylakoids, which are a membranous system that forms flattened sacs. When these are in stacks, they are called granum. The fluid that surrounds the thylakoids is the stroma. Chloroplast is part of a large family of organelles called plastids.
The cytoskeleton is a network of interlinking microfilaments and microtubules that extend throughout the cytoplasm. Moving on the microtubule track are motor proteins which help with the mobility of the cell or the organelles inside. Microfilaments, along with the microtubules, help the cytoskeleton with its roles in organizing organelles and maintaining cellular structure.
The central vacuole is present in plant cells. There is a solution inside called sap. It stores inorganic ions like potassium and chloride. The central vacuole enlarges when water is absorbed and it allows the plant to grow without producing more membrane. It is often the largest organelle in the cell. Its function is to hold materials and waste. It also maintains the proper pressure in the cell. Protein synthesis is a fundamental biological process where cells build their specific proteins. This process is called translation. DNA must first be transcribed into messenger RNA. Then, the mRNA must be translated so the ribosomes can produce a protein. These ribosomes can be found on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. The proteins are then put in vesicles and transported to the Golgi apparatus. In the Golgi, the protein is delivered to the cis phase and then sent out to do its specific job by the trans phase.